Hi, welcome back to another 90 Day Fiancé recap. We're going to talk about the brand new season of The Other Way. Woo! I'm so excited. I'm so excited that we're finally meeting new couples. I think that's my favorite part about a brand new season for The Other Way before the 90 and OG 90 Day Fiancé. Although lately we haven't been getting too many new couples on OG 90 Day Fiancé. But anyway, I just love when we meet brand new couples. So without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, by the way, should we bring back the OG recap song? Should we sing it together? Yes. Ready? A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. We're obsessed with TLC and all the trashy reality TV. It's a recap. It's a recap. It's a recap. Oh, when this episode began, I was so excited that my heart went pitta-patta. My booty went tingle-tangle. Anybody else or just me? Let's start with James and Natalia. So we have James, who's 33 years old. He lives in Maine, and he's an elevator mechanic. I didn't know this, but it's one of the top 10 most dangerous jobs in the world. Yeah, his dad had 2 of his fingers just chopped right off, and he had to get them sewn back at the hospital. Can you imagine going to the hospital with a Ziploc baggie being like, here are my 2 fingers. Can you please sew them back up? Ugh. I used to see those episodes on Grey's Anatomy, and it just something about body parts in a little baggie, like falling off. I just can't. I can't. So yeah, James works for his family business, and he is married to Natalia, who's 27 from Indonesia. They've been married for 2 years, and they have a fur baby named Jojo or Juju. I can't remember, but is it a boy or a girl? I think it's a he. He's so freaking adorable. James and Natalia met on social media while he was doing photography and she was doing modeling. Now, according to his pictures on social media, it kind of seemed like he was doing like travel photography, and he slid into her DMs, and the rest is history.
Because I'm a jealousy person.
She's told me several times, you ever cheat on me, I will take your
Why are you laughing?
Because it's so scary and I get so nervous.
Okay, then. She's been living with James and his family in Maine for about 2.5 years, ever since they got married, but she does not like it there. She really misses home. On top of that, James is working so much, and so she's home alone a lot, and she's also been having some health issues, more specifically in her throat. You can clearly see there is a small mass, and according to her, she's been having difficulty swallowing, and it's painful. So unfortunately, the doctors in America have not been able to figure out what it is, which I find shocking. I wish we got more details and more information about that, but basically she's saying that she's being bounced around doctors without any treatment plan. Like for me, I remember I had something in my throat. Like I was scared that my throat or my neck was getting really, really big. And so the first thing they did was an ultrasound of my throat because they thought I had a goiter and they thought I had like a thyroid issue, but it actually ended up just me having a fat neck. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I wonder if she had any scans done. But anyway, it doesn't matter because they didn't give us any details. But anyway, the main point is she wants to go back to Indonesia to find a doctor there to see if they can figure out what is wrong with her throat. Now, James is worried about their move because they are struggling financially. Money is tight. So they gather all these records that they have and they go to some thrift store to hopefully sell them off. And I love how in these scenes they have like the random employee of the store just ask them questions that the producer clearly fed to them so that they can get the storyline moving. But this guy was pretty good. He was good. He was friendly. He was natural in front of the camera. So Natalia is really worried that James's parents are going to resent her for like taking their son away from them. And this is where we learn James has not told his parents that he's moving to Indonesia. I don't know why he wouldn't tell them, but he hasn't told them yet. And he works for the family business. He seems like a very critical part in their business. So I feel like he needs to let them know as soon as possible so they can find a replacement. Don't they need time to interview people, to find people, to train people? Like, that takes a lot of time. And I can't believe he hasn't told his family yet. Oh my God. So obviously Natalia is really worried that they're going to blame her for this. And she's like, please tell your parents soon. And he's like, no. The store employee comes back and he's like, yeah, I can't take any of these records because they're all old and they suck. And they're like, nobody listens to this music anymore. And Natalia's like, wow, you don't have any useful junk? All right, you're useless. No, she didn't say that. I just added it in there. We see a scene of Natalia making jewelry because she sells them to make a little bit of side income. And I really wish she would drop her store name so I can support. If anybody knows, does she have an Instagram? Somebody let me know in the comments if she has an Instagram or any kind of social media. I'd love to maybe get a few of her pieces to support. I just want to support another small business. You know what I mean? As she's making jewelry, her friend Adele comes over, and that's when she tells her that she's moving to Indonesia tomorrow. And the friend is like, you're moving tomorrow? Why didn't you tell me? And she was like, then Adele accidentally tells Natalia that James confided in her the other day about how he's really nervous and scared to have children. And by the way, we're going to call Natalia Tata because that's her nickname. And Tata is so shocked by this news. She's like, he's nervous? He's never said that to me. I want children so bad. He knows I want children so bad. How can he be nervous? So he doesn't want children with me? Like, that's all I want. Like, she starts spiraling. Okay, she's sobbing, crying. Adele's like, holy shit, maybe I shouldn't have said this. So she tells her, I think you should talk to James about this. Yeah, it seems like this is something you guys need to discuss. So Tata is kind of an emotional mess. She cries a lot. Maybe she's just dealing with a lot of stress. Like, she is making this big move and her in-laws don't even know yet. And she's stressed about their reaction and what they're going to think of her. And then she has the ongoing throat issue that she's stressed out about. So I can understand that when you are dealing with multiple things in your life that are stressing you out, you can be hypersensitive and very emotional. So I will give her that. Now they're packing, and I didn't know this until now, but Tata's going to Indonesia first, and then he will be there a month later. So he starts crying because he's going to miss her. He's like, I'm going to wake up and you're not going to be next to me. You know, they're all both emotional. And then he has some bad news, and she's like, what is it? And he says, our dog can't go with us. And she's like, what do you mean my baby, my fur child, can't come to Indonesia with us? Apparently there's some kind of rabies outbreak, and again, there wasn't a lot of detail about this, but basically if a dog shows any signs of sickness, they can take the dog and legally euthanize it, I guess. And so Natalia freaks out. She's bawling her eyes out, crying. She's like, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. You also had 3 weeks to tell me this, and you're telling me this now, like 24 hours before I'm leaving. And he's like, yeah, sorry. So basically, I'm seeing a trend here. James does not like to tell people bad news. So he doesn't like confrontation. He just leaves everything to the last minute because he's afraid of how people are going to react. So yeah, James, you're going to need to grow some and learn how to confront people, okay? Guess who's back? We have Shayna and Sarper. Yay. Yeah, their scene starts off with them role playing on video chat.
You are my secretary, right? I'm the boss.
Thank you.
You are my Barbie doll, for sure. I'm your Ken from Alibaba.
I think what he meant was AliExpress. Shayna had to move back to the States because they had been struggling financially. And because she couldn't practice as an esthetician in Turkey, she had to go back to America for a couple months so that she can start working and saving up some money. So she has been in LA for about 3 months. And being long distance is really hard for them. And so they have to keep things spicy on video chat. Now, Sarper has a history of cheating on all of his girlfriends. And because of that, Shayna has been on top of his whereabouts. She's like, where are you going? Who are you going with? How long are you going to be there? When are you coming home? And he's getting kind of annoyed by it. He's like, Shayna needs to calm the F down because there's only so much I can take, okay? I don't need to be interrogated 24/7.
Shayna is always possessive. She always asks, where are you? What are you doing? I'm not doing anything. I'm here. You know what bothers me, baby? What kind of questions bothers me?
If you're texting me all the time and then all of a sudden you're silent, of course I'm gonna ask you.
What kind of a bitch you are?
Then we see a scene of Sarper counting his grains of rice. Now, at first when I saw this, I was like, what the hell is he doing? Is he literally counting his grains of rice because he doesn't want to overeat? He has to stick with his very specific diet. But no, he actually counts things when he has a lot of anxiety. And obviously, I'm not going to make fun of it because it could be a health condition. It could be a mental health condition like OCD, because I know a lot of people with OCD obsessively count things. So yeah, that would make sense as to why he had that notebook. Remember that little black notebook of all the people he slept with, and he categorized it, and he made specific X's and specific colors on specific dates. Then we see Sarper playing ballerina with his niece. He dresses up in a tutu and he starts twirling around with her. And I love how he's making it seem like he does this all the time. He's so soft. He's like such a good uncle. But when you look at his niece, she's kind of giving him the look like, why the hell are you doing this all of a sudden? Like, why are you doing this, uncle? You never do this. Like, did anybody else get that vibe?
Bruh.
He has completely drained his bank account because most of his clients were women, 90% to be exact. And now he lost all of those female clients because Shayna won't allow him to train female clients. So now his income is only 10% of what it used to be. Now back in LA, we see Shayna at the doggy spa with Adonis, her new golden doodle. He's so adorable. And the doggy spa is also elite. I would love to have a place like that where I live, but ours is just average. Every time I hear Shayna now, I think of the 7M cult with Robert Shin, you know, the TikTok dance cult, because I've never ever heard Shayna before until 90 Day, and then now the 7M cult, because Robert Shin's church is called Shayna. All right, so Shayna brings her fur baby Adonis to the groomers because Adonis is going to Turkey with her. How cute. I wonder how he's going. Is he going in cargo? Because that really sucks. But what can you do? There's literally no other way you can bring a bigger dog, right? Her friends are also with her at the groomers, and she tells them that Sarper's the only guy she can see herself marrying. And therefore, she applied for the K-1 visa so he can come to LA. And this is way better than her staying in Turkey because financially they could be way more well off in LA. He would get so many more clients. He could charge way more money in LA than he can in Turkey. And on top of that, she can run her businesses as usual if they're both in LA. So financially, they would make so much more money here. Now, when her friends hear that she might marry Sarper, they're like, whoa, do not rush into anything. You've only been together for a year. And she's like, well, if the visa gets approved, we're gonna do it. Okay, Shayna, have fun. One of her guy friends is like, oh, by the way, what do you do in Turkey when you can't work? And she goes, well, Sarper makes me breakfast, and then we go work out, and then we have schmecks 4 times a day. Oh, and by the way, I'm finally getting my Turkish nose job. That's designed by Sarper. Yeah, he personally designed my new nose.
And Sarper has actually designed a new nose for me.
What?
Shayna.
He's designed a new nose for me.
Honestly.
I'll tell him, I know what you need. And I'm like, okay, I trust you. Because I do.
Moving on to Josh and Lily. We have Josh, 47, from South Carolina, who's dating Lily, 46, from China. Now, Josh is a big kid at heart. He loves video games. He loves figurines. He loves remote control cars. Everything a kid loves, he loves as well. And he's been feeling more like a kid these days because he just sold his house and he moved in with his parents. Now, here's the thing. I know I made fun of Jamie from 90 Day UK for living with his parents, but there's a difference. There's a difference between living with your parents because you want to and then living with your parents because you have to. Okay, Josh is living with his parents because he wants to, whereas Jamie has to because he doesn't want to do anything for himself. Now, living with your parents because you need to is also different depending on the situation, but I'm just saying Jamie doesn't want to move out because he wants everything done for him. He needs his meals cooked for him. He needs his outfits picked out for him. He needs his ass wiped for him. Like, he wants his mom to do all of that. And that is what I classify as a grade A loser. All right, Josh is living with his parents because he wants to, and he sold his house because he's about to move to China. So big difference. We also learned that Josh has misophonia, which means that he's super sensitive to sounds and it makes him go crazy. And I know a few people who have this. A common trigger is the sound of people chewing and eating. And y'all, I don't know how he's going to deal with being in China because in Asian culture, we slurp our food. We are loud when we eat our food because that is a sign in our culture that the food is delicious. You are appreciating and you are enjoying the food. I don't know how he's going to deal with that. Like, I'm actually concerned for him. If he legitimately has misophonia, he's definitely going to need those earphones in China. Josh and Lily met on a language learning app. He was trying to learn Mandarin and she was trying to learn English. So they started like helping each other and then they caught feelings. They fell in love, they met, and they decided to get married in Vegas. So she was living in America with Josh, but it got really hard for her to manage her business that she had in China.
Lily never intended to live in the US. She has a really successful cosmetic business, and she needs to be there to run it. So she returned to China a month after we got married.
So his brother comes over, they jump into the hot tub, and they talk about his upcoming move, and they're going to have a traditional Chinese wedding ceremony, which I'm so excited to watch. Josh had to recently quit his HVAC sales job, and he's not going to be able to legally work in China because he's going to be there on a spousal visa for at least 5 years. And that makes him really insecure. And he's very worried because in Chinese culture, it's pretty traditional in that sense. Like the men are the providers and he would like to do that, but he legally can't. So hopefully he has some money saved up or a lot of money saved up because 5 years, at least 5 years without working is a really long time. Then we meet Lily in China and she has a really nice apartment, but it looked very empty. So I was kind of confused. Was that her apartment or was that the new house she had that she's renovating for Josh's arrival? I was very confused. Whatever. Either way, the place is very nice. She owns a beauty company that is very successful. So neither of them are great at the other person's language. So there is a bit of a language barrier, but no worries because Josh has his handy dandy translator. I can't tell if I like Josh or not. I think it's way too early. He seems innocent. He seems nice and like genuine. But, you know, with 90 Day Fiancé, you just never know. So I'm going to hold off on that thought. And for now, Lily seems great too. She seems very sweet. She seems like a hard worker, go-getter, very successful. She's voiced that she's been very stressed out about all these renovations. She's working really hard to make this work. Everything's so expensive. But she is doing her best to get everything ready for his arrival. Now let's meet Corona. She's 30 years old from Pennsylvania. She's currently a doula. She just finished her nursing school at UPenn with a 4.0. Holy shit, she's smart. She's moving to Iceland to be with her 38-year-old boyfriend, Inky. And they met while she was on vacation there and they kept in touch. And when she went back to Philly, they were talking all the time. Sparks were flying and the rest is history. Her friends who are expecting a baby come over to ask about her move to Iceland and blah, blah, blah. Okay, now she goes to her family's house and they are interrogating her. Actually, they were so funny. They asked a bunch of necessary questions. They were like, oh, so it's Inky. His name is Inky. So Inky Stinky. Oh my God. That grandma is so funny. They were like, you've only been with him for 20 days. So what's his last name? We should do a background check. You don't even know his last name. Okay, what does he do for work? He's never been in a relationship. What's wrong with him? He's 38 and never been in a relationship. So he's a virgin. You're moving to Iceland for a virgin. Oh, so he's not a virgin, but he's never been in a relationship. That's weird.
What if he has a wife?
What's wrong with him? Why he ain't had a relationship? Something might be wrong with him.
Moving to Iceland with a virgin.
He's not a virgin.
There's something wrong with him.
That is a red flag.
There's nothing wrong with him.
But you don't know that he ain't a killer.
So he's never had a girlfriend. Okay, are there black people in Iceland? Okay, so how many? 5? Just 5? Okay. Like, wow. It made me laugh so hard and they were just on point with their questions. I loved it. So apparently Corona is known for popping off, okay? And she said that she has not popped off to Inky yet because she's doing something called soft partnering, which basically is her version of gentle parenting her partner. And her family's like, oh, so he doesn't even know the real you because he's never seen you pop off. And she's like, no, I feel like he's so soft and so sensitive and gentle. I need to use kid gloves and he shouldn't have to see me pop off yet.
This person he's in love with, it's not the real you yet.
Everyone wants to put their best foot forward. And I think the major skeleton in my closet is my anger issues. And I don't want to blow it by just like unleashing the beast because this is the most important relationship I've ever been in my life.
And that's where the episode ends. So what did you guys think of the new couples? What did you think about Sarper and Shayna returning? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!
It's a recap. It's a recap. It's a